video, and as usual we're talking about everything and anything to do with the 2027 general election. And I'm telling you, the next year, and the heat is getting up now. I don't know how things will play out. So first of all, like as usual, mnajua, the goal is to beat the president. The goal is to remove Ruto from power. Of course, that's according to everyone. Now, shida ni moja. Which ticket is very likely to beat Ruto come 2027? Now, earlier last month, the IEBC released these figures that there were up to 2.6 million new registered voters. So from what we had in the previous general election, side tuko na 2.6 new million registered voters. And fun fact is that Rift Valley has the most registered voters, like according to the figures. Like it had up to 672,000 registered voters. Of course, it was followed by Central and Nyanza and Western Coast, and Ukambani region, the lower eastern region, and then the northeastern region. Now, kwa hizo votes za Rift Valley, tukuna disparity ya 200,000 votes. Like Rift Valley has 670,000 new registered voters, and followed by Central, which has 400,000, meaning there's a gap of up to 200,000 registered voters. And that margin alone is what made Raila Odinga lose the previous general election in 2022. So the goal is to beat William Ruto, but we don't know how. So I was looking into the possibility of the combinations that could possibly topple Ruto out of power come 2027. Of course, it's going to be a moment. So I looked into, because I looked into the possible opposition combination that could remove Ruto out of power. Now, one mistake that was made in the previous election by then Raila Odinga was I wouldn't really call it a mistake, but it was something that didn't work out well. It was, he believed in a beautiful story. He believed in picking a person who had no political base or political backing, and made them their deputy. I think that somehow cost Raila Odinga the top seat in the previous general election, because he picked Martha Karua. I was in support of that because I believed in a beautiful story. I believe in a woman becoming a deputy president. I believe in a very strong person backing Raila Odinga for the top position. And at the end of it, they lost massively. So for me, I believe at this point, looking at these figures, I believe that if Raila Odinga had picked Kalonzo Musyoka back then, I think he would have won that election. But at the same time, that happened and it happened. So let's talk about the current combination. So of course, the first combination is Matiang'i and Kalonzo. So Matiang'i as the president and Kalonzo Musyoka as the deputy president. Now, given these figures that we have from the IEBC, as things stands, Kalonzo Musyoka is the favorite to a majority of people. Yes, Matiang'i has a good following. He has the backing of his community and everything. But at the same time, many people at least resonate with Kalonzo Musyoka more compared to Fred Matiang'i. There could be some difference in statistics and everything, but I think that is it. So this ticket of Matiang'i and Kalonzo, that way, the way it's combined, it's impossible to beat William Samoei Ruto come 2027, because of course Matiang'i mostly has the backing only of the Kisii community and not all of it, because part of the Kisii community will be a battleground, because ODM also has strongholds and has party leaders from that region. So it would be very difficult for Matiang'i to secure all the votes from that region, or majority of votes from that region. So looking at the figures, and then looking at Kalonzo Musyoka, looking at the new figures that were recorded by the IEBC, that region recorded around 191,000 new registered voters. So that means you have a disparity of close to 400,000 votes compared to those of the Rift Valley region. So this candidature won't be ideal in removing William Ruto from the position. Then you go ahead and looked at Kalonzo as a president and Matiang'i as a deputy, and again the same mistake. Nothing has changed, just the positions has changed. We have Kalonzo Musyoka as the president now and Matiang'i as the deputy president, and of course that ticket is and will not remove Ruto from office. Then we look at a Kalonzo and Gachagua ticket. Now Gachagua is liked, he's loved by a majority of people from the central region. Of course, he has to battle it out with Professor Kithure Kindiki, who is a very good leader, by the way. He's a very good leader. But as things stand, Kalonzo Musyoka and Gachagua ticket is the only ticket that can remove Ruto from power, or Kalonzo Musyoka as the president and anyone who Gachagua backs come 2027. So if like what I'm trying to say is Matiang'i cannot force himself into the position unless Gachagua has a say in it, because at the end of it they really need the votes from the central region. So but if the Gachagua impeachment case is supposed to be heard I think early next month, and I think that will somehow have a play in whatever will happen in 2027. But as things stands, if Gachagua was to vie in the ballot, I think him and Kalonzo are the only people who can remove Ruto from power come 2027. If they just come together and have the backing of the other communities, I think they'll be good to go. And of course, the most asked question is, where do the Gen Zs come in play? Now, the Gen Zs, yes, they had their moment in 2024. Now, fast forward in 2026, we have some of them in the opposition camp. We have some of them campaigning for the government, and that scenario alone makes you look into the voter landscape, and then you'll realize that come 2027 you also have Gen Z split by communities. You'll have some of them voting for the government, and you'll have some of them voting for the opposition, and then you'll have some of them voting independently. So we'll have three of them. We'll have some of them voting for the government, some of them voting for the opposition, and some of them voting independently. So at the end of it, the tribal card is the only one that will win come 2027. I don't know what you think, and I'd love to hear your opinion. But according to the figures that we have so far, that is it. Yeah, we'll see you on our next video. Just remember to like and subscribe as usual. We'll see you.